Paul, the American consumer continues to be resilient. Even our friend Matt Shea at the National Retail Federation is estimating holiday sales to cross the $1 trillion mark this year. Some inflation involved in that, some purchasing patterns that might be a little different, but it's been a real up and down year. Starting in the campaign trail 18 months ago, companies that had the ability started front-loading inventory, padding those stocks to try to mitigate the impacts of what they perceived to be tariffs. Then when they happened, people scrambled as quickly as they could. And we saw the ups and downs in that when hard policy was introduced, cargo volume plummeted. When that policy was loosened and deadlines on negotiations extended, there was a window and people took advantage of it. Cargo soared. In the month of July alone, we moved more than 1 million container units. Only port to do that ever.
Wow.
And we've done it twice. So it really has been trying to anticipate these peaks and valleys, getting the workforce out there, tuned in to what's coming. Some of our information systems allow us to see this now 40 days in advance. But the resiliency of that workforce, the truck driver, the dock worker, the warehouse manager, has been operating to perfection.
Well, that's good to hear. But certainly the larger companies have the muscle to do what you're just saying, right? To front load, to buy, to a place to hold the inventory while they try to whittle it down. What about small businesses? How have they been doing in all of this?
Alexis, that's where I'm watching most closely. More than half of the 125,000 companies that import through the Port of Los Angeles are small to middle-sized. And these are folks that can't necessarily pass on the cost of those tariffs because they're competing with the big companies. Auto parts suppliers, one in particular, South Bay, Los Angeles, paying 97% tariffs on their parts right now that go to the big three auto manufacturers in Detroit. If they change their supply chain, they impact the factory line. That's $2 to $4 million an hour in cost exposure if they don't get the goods there. They're absorbing these tariffs. And even the small to middle-sized business that buys on the de minimis level, that loophole was waived.
Yes.
Those packages go into storefronts, onto shelves that we all shop at, family businesses. The exposure there is real.
Gene, I mean, from your office, you can see the ships coming over the horizon from Asia. Talk to us about China and how trade has changed over the last several years.
We're going to record our third best volume year ever in 2025, even with all the ups and downs. But China now is a smaller percentage of that business. Dating back to 2018, 60% of our portfolio was with China. Today it's 40 and dropping, yet we've still grown. And that's because of the migration of sourcing and manufacturing to Southeast Asia. I was in China twice over the past 2 months, and I was there for the announcement by the central government of the 15th five-year plan. In that plan, the central government stated, we're no longer just exporting products, we're exporting our manufacturing expertise to other countries, investing in places like Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia. As they see the shift in sourcing, they continue to follow that.
So I have to ask a selfish question, Gene. Are my gifts going to arrive on time? Because I mean, right? We're sort of in that crunch time now. Some of us are paying a little bit more to get the stuff shipped to the house, but by and large, are things sort of working on time?
Yes, unbelievable, Alexis. We move more cargo during the summer months, which is our traditional run-up to the holiday season. Moved more cargo during this past summer than we did at the peak of the peak during COVID, and not one ship was backed up. The time a container sits before it moves from ship to shore is better than pre-COVID days. And the exchange, how many containers we load on and off a ship that comes into LA, on average is 12,000 units. That's the best in the business today.
Why is that? Did you learn some stuff during COVID and then implemented that post-COVID?
Alexis, we learned a lot. We leaned on each other across the supply chain, importers, exporters, transport companies. And we used a little bit more information, digitization, and said, okay, let's see this line of sight a little better over the hills and around corners. Let's prepare. Let's all work together. And it has really been a pleasure to be with these folks and seeing the progress that we've made.
How was the labor environment in general? Because you have so many, you have the dock workers, the Teamsters, the dock, all that kind of stuff. And I know you've had some challenges in the past. What's the labor situation today?
For the dock workers, the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, we're in the middle of a traditional 6-year contract. That goes all the way through the summer of 2028. Longshore jobs are up about 21% since I've been at the Port of LA. Every 4 containers creates a job, and that's been our focus. Let's keep the workforce moving. Even in the face of new technology, automation, and robotics, let's make sure the workforce is not left behind. Building a training campus to help upskill and reskill, all of that is so very important to our community and nation.